Yeah. What? Bring socks? Okay. Come get.
I hear my son just singing downstairs. He's getting so old. 나는 약간 메이플 하면서 내가 뭐 물론 한국에서 산지는 15년 더 되긴 했지만 거의 20년이지? 15년이 뭐야. 한국에서 산지는 20년이 넘었는데 이제 뿌리가 한국인이다 보니까 한국 정치에도 관심이, 내가 원래 미국 정치에도 관심이 많아서 한국 정치도 관심 있게 보고 하긴 하는데 내가 미국에서는 우파거든요. 트럼프 지지하고 약간 공화당 그리고 보수 쪽을 지지하는 그런 사람인데, 여기 내가 한국 정치를 지켜보면서 느낀 게 윤석열 대통령 너무 아쉽고 안타깝고 그런 생각을 많이 했어요. 내가 그 유튜브로 보면은 이제 나한테 나오는 알고리즘이 다 우파 쪽 유튜버라서 그럴 수도 있는데, 내가 보고 느끼는 거는 이건 진짜 부정합하고 불공평하고 윤 대통령이 너무 안타깝고 불쌍하다. 그리고 우리 너무 한국이 망해가고 있다. 이런 느낌을 많이 받았거든요. 지난 1년 동안 그 탄핵이래. 그 뭐지, 계엄령 내리는 그때부터 쭉 지켜봐 왔는데, 근데 내가 느끼기에는, 그리고 내 주변 사람들 뭐 친척이나 가족들 보면은 윤석열을 지지하는 사람이 많아요. 윤석열을 응원하는 사람도 엄청 많고, 뭐 이재명 응원한 사람은 진짜 못 본 것 같아요. 물론 나가서 정치 성향이 어떠냐 이렇게 물어보는 건 절대 아닌데, 그게 이제 그냥 사람을 지켜보면 느낌이 오잖아요. 뭐 친척들은 가깝다고 해서 그런 걸 나누고 의견을 나눌 수 있는데, 그래서 알 수는 있는데, 그냥 일반 사람들이나 한국 사람들, 뭐 이모들이나, 그리고 이제 우리 할머니는 완전 보수고, 뭐 이모들 아니면 이제 모르는 사람을 밖에 나갔을 때 그냥 얘기하고 듣다 보면은 그 성향이 느껴질 때가 있어요. 그러면 나는 진짜 사람들 대하면서 이재명 지지한다고 느껴본 사람을 만나보지를 못했던 것 같아요. 이재명 뭐 윤석열도 싫고 이재명도 싫고 이런 사람들은 봤는데, 난 이재명 지지한다, 윤석열 나쁜 사람이다 이렇게 말한 사람은 전혀 못 봤어요. 내가 이번에 한국 나가가지고, 한국 이번 9월 달에 한 달 동안 나갔다 왔는데, 근데 신기하게도 이재명이 대통령이 되더라고요. 선거를 했는데. 근데 내가 이 말을 하는 이유가 뭐냐, 지금 고학도 보면은, 지금 메이플 시작한 지 한 달 조금 넘었는데, 고학을 보면은 이재명 욕밖에 안 해요. 윤석열 대통령 욕하는 사람이 하나도 없어. 그리고 이게 메이플랜드라는 게임이 인원이 뭐 1000명, 10,000명 이거면 말은 안 하겠는데, 지금 메이플랜드 그 인원 수가 몇 명이죠? 한 몇십만 명 되는 걸로 아는데, 동점률이 최고는 막 더 많이 갈 때도 있고, 몇만 명 아니면 몇십만 명으로 알고 있는데, 메이플랜드 그 유저 수가, 여기서 이재명을 지지한다, 뭐 윤석열을 욕한다 이런 사람의 고학을 한 번도 본 적이 없어요. 그래서 나는 정말 궁금하기도 하고 신기하기도 하고, 그냥 뭐냐, 흥미롭다고 해야 되나? 그런 것 같아요. Hey, what's going on? I am on Mapleland in Korean server. Yeah, Dragon Knight is awesome for one of the best classes for, like, in general in MapleStory and old school MapleStory. Dragon Knight is probably the strongest third job advancement class. They shine in third job advancement. I've played MapleStory all my life, so yeah, I played for a long time. If it wasn't MapleStory, then I played old school MapleStory on private servers and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't play, what would you call, like, retail MapleStory after Big Bang. I played a little bit after Big Bang, but once it started getting really crazy, I dropped the game. I couldn't, it wasn't the same game anymore. But when I was younger, yeah, I grew up in Korea. So in Korea, the game released back in 2003. And I think I started playing in 2003 or 4. I played all the way up to like 2010, 2011, and when I had to let it go because the game was too different. Nice. You played at a good time. That was the golden time. Yeah, I agree. And the thing about, yeah, it is pretty whack. And you know, the funny thing about that is they say GMS is at its highest ever. So I have a little brother who's 10 years younger than me. And so I'm 32, so he's 22. And even as a 22-year-old, he talks about how the current MapleStory is too much for him. I don't know, but yeah, the current MapleStory is just overwhelming. It's a different game. Back when we played in 2004 to 2009, and I talk about this a lot on my channel, what the game was back in the day, you know? It was like logging into a messenger game that you can chat with your friends while going out to train together, while exploring together. It was more of a social game than an actual game. You know, it was something that you would start playing after you've played, I don't know, at that time maybe CS:GO or some high intensity, high dopamine releasing game, and you would be tired. You'd be kind of worn out because it would force you to concentrate and it would require a lot out of you, and you would log into MapleStory, just turn your brain off, listen to some beautiful background music that this game has, and you chat with your friends about your day or whatever's going on. Talk with your buddies, party up, kill some mushrooms, and you know, and just kind of hang out. And the beautiful part is, I really love how this game, when you kill a monster, loot starts flying out. Right? Like, look at that loot flying out. And every mob you kill is an anticipation for a dopamine release. You're waiting for drop. You're waiting for that scroll to come out. Or sometimes you're just having fun and talking with your buddies and you're farming together and something pops up and you're both like, oh, what was that? Oh, that's so cool. That was the beauty of MapleStory. Unfortunately, the current MapleStory, though, where the developers took it and where the game is at now, it's more of a action RPG solo game. I mean, as far as I know, that's what it is. There's like rank, there's people trying to clear there's like so many bosses now, it takes away the excitingness of a boss. That's another story, but I know people are killing bosses and trying to beat their own record. It's more like a speed run type of game, and I'm just not about that. I can have that type of, like, I don't want to exert myself and spend my energy to that extent. That's not why I play an MMO. If I was gonna do that, I would go play Fortnite, or I would go play, you know, like Valorant or League of Legends, where it requires me to not blink, literally, and you know, anticipate what's gonna happen, and it consumes a lot of brain power. I don't want to do that in this. That's not why. This game still gets tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of players in Korea currently, this Maple Land one, and it's buggy. It's not the official launcher that they used back in the day, so gameplay can be wonky. There's like little minor bugs, nothing too extreme, but people still find their way back into this game. It's probably one of the most popular games in Korea right now. Exactly. And I'm not sure, you know, and when I say stuff like this, I know you say it's a great description of the current and the past, and you feel the same way, but I've heard people tell me that that's just pure nostalgia, that I'm having a nostalgia trip, and I sometimes kind of sit there and wonder, well, is it really nostalgia? Because maybe it is, you know, maybe it's just that we have really great memories during those times, whether it was our real life friends that played with us. For me, it was I had friends in game, but I have a huge family back in Korea, and I have about 10 cousins all around relatively the same age. So all of my cousins played MapleStory. So when I logged into MapleStory, you know, I would look up my friend list and I would see 2 of my cousins are on, or maybe a guy I met in Hennessy's Hunting Ground 1 was on. And you know, because you're such a noob and you don't know what the heck you're doing, you just want to log in, and you know, the first thing you do is you tell them, hey, hi, in friend chat, And if they respond, you kind of go hang out with them, see what they're doing. Maybe they're over in Alinea killing slimes. Maybe they're in Perion killing stumps. Maybe they got a little bit higher level and they grinded while you were offline, and you know, you're just shocked that he's level 20 when you're stuck at 15. I've had those experiences. It's looking back, it's kind of cute, but maybe it's a nostalgia trip. But I think the game, I talked about this too. I think old school MapleStory is a 10 out of 10 when it comes to meeting my checklist for what an MMORPG is. So, and I tried to be objective. You know, I didn't talk about my personal experiences or my past or anything like that. Just going off an objective metric and like talking about things that an MMORPG should have. I think MapleStory has nearly everything that an MMORPG should. I love even down to the little details, you know, like I love the fact that you can type in this game and a bubble pops up your head. Maybe to some it's very minuscule and it's not a big deal, but to me it was. And if I have to briefly explain why, I used to play Final Fantasy XIV. And in Final Fantasy XIV, when you type with people in your community, or like even when you're in a same instance, same map, and there's a person right next to your character, you can type something, but it won't pop up over their head. What it does is it just goes into a chat box here. And you're basically chatting, and it takes away, what it does is it takes away the immersiveness. You know, when I'm playing an MMO, I want to feel like I'm the character. And I want to represent that character that's in front of me, and I want me to be that character. It's almost like borderline role playing, but not to that extent. But when a chat box comes on top of my head and as I'm saying stuff, the receiving end naturally is gonna look at my character and read the text above my character. Whereas if a chat box doesn't appear on top of the character, their eyes are basically fixed on the chat box at the bottom, away from the character, away from the environment, away from the background. You're looking at this little chat box at the corner of your screen and you're chatting with someone. Maybe to some that's not a big deal for me, but for me that's a big deal, you know, because then as you're chatting with someone, you feel like you're talking to the character. And ooh, nice. Got an item. To me, that's a big deal. So that was number one for me. And number two, another thing that I find important in an MMORPG is the freedom to explore and not a linear storyline. And I think this is why WoW was great too in the US, because when WoW initially came out, you had so much freedom, right? The game game wasn't structured or developed to guide you, to hold your hand, and basically have leveling zones, so you don't dare go outside of that zone and go peak at a level 50 zone, because why would you do that? You're gonna die. No, players actually want to go check out high level monsters and what there is in the world, and they wanna explore. They want to see what the game has to offer before they even get to the high levels. How mundane to be stuck in one zone for a week straight because the game is kind of gatekeeping you or trying to parent you. I would rather have the game like give you unlimited freedom to even go make stupid mistakes, because yes, logically, and yes, when you're just saying it, why would a level 10 need to go into a level 100 area? There's no need, there's nothing he can get from there, right? Logically. But the truth is it's actually the opposite. Players want to go there, and players want to explore with their friends and see what's out there, and they know, you know, we're not stupid. Players aren't stupid. They're not going to go there and continuously die trying to kill a high level monster. They just want to go explore and see what's out there. So the freedom part is big for me in an MMO. MapleStory has that. There's no gatekeeping, like minimum gatekeeping. You can just explore anywhere you want to go. I used to have an assassin, and I would use Dark Sight, and I would go really deep into Sleepywood at like level 18. And you just want to know what's at the next portal, what's at the end. I heard rumors there's Junior Balrog there. There's this big monster that hits you for like 2,000 damage. I don't believe them. Let me go see. And you go see, and you see that monster, and you're just like, oh shit, oh my god, he's there, he's actually here. Oh, run away. And he does a magic attack, and poor little you didn't realize Dark Sight isn't immune to magic damage, and you get one-shotted, and like you lost 10% of your EXP, but it's still a blast, you know? You have your friends around you, or you're just like talking with your friends, talking about what you're doing. Great time. So that would be number 2. And another element of MMO that I really like is the encouragement of cooperation and engagement. I like when an MMO encourages you to cooperate with one another. I like when an MMO develops a game for party plays. And MapleStory had that. MapleStory was essentially a social party grinding game. Yep, I mean, my favorite thing about MapleStory was the party quest, hands down. You know, when training got mundane and boring, you would go do a party quest, and there's party quests at every spectrum of level. So from 10 to 21, you could do Tennessee's party quest and help the rabbits gather their whatever it was. It was like rice cake. And then you get level 21, you go to Kerning City and you go do the Kerning Park party quest with people, and it was just a blast. It encourages people to cooperate. The game sets up the setting for people to get together and chat and get to know one another and ask them how they're doing, and while they're just having a good time together. And even if it wasn't for party quests, you would get in a party and start training together with a buddy, and the game would reward you by giving you bonus XP. So stuff like that I really like, and it's totally contrary to how most MMOs are now, and definitely contrary to how retail MapleStory is now too. And like you said, pay to win element wasn't there in the beginning. I want to be careful with what I say, because the truth is Korean MapleStory and global MapleStory, so GMS, was a same game, but also very different. Like gacha system did not exist in Korean MapleStory, but the whole gacha system came relatively quick to GMS. It was introduced to GMS relatively quick. In Korea, you could buy Meso with real money, and I think you can do that here in the States too, but in Korea that's how much you were gonna go. You know, that was the pay to win element, I guess, what I'm trying to say. You could buy Mesos with money. Buy yourself the gear. So in some ways, I kind of empathize with the developers. It's not a problem you can solve overnight. Players will figure out how they can trade. Like, if the game is popular enough, there will always be a black market. So, it's hard to eliminate pay to win. But what doesn't sit right with me is the whole gacha system. A lot of people love gacha. there's, I guess, nothing wrong with it. In a sense, you want to spend your own money, essentially gamble. But for me, I took it as it's a very lazy and scummy way of making money off players. You're essentially selling a lottery ticket, essentially selling a dream to these people, and maybe they just have money to blow. But just like how it is with the lottery that people buy at convenience stores, something tells me people that enjoyed gachas and that buy gachas all the time were not the richest people that were buying it, or were not. It was probably people that could have saved that money for something better for them, but they instead chose to do it. So I don't like gacha. I'm not a fan of gacha. I was not fan of chaos scrolls and all that stuff. I like how the game it is now. Simple, super underwhelming, but still enjoyable. I like it how it is now, where there's only 60% scrolls and 10% scrolls and 100% scrolls. We don't have this pool of different type of scrolls that do different type of things. At some point they had a 1% scroll, a what was it, like a 5% scroll, 70% scroll, 30% scroll. It just gets way too confusing, and to trying to keep up with all that stuff. You know, I don't want this game to be a homework. I don't want to try to learn about everything. I want to get in the game and enjoy a game. That's how I feel. Because the thing is, if I look at an item and it has a +1 on it, +1, right? As in like a scroll succeeded on an item one time. I can look at the stats and tell, oh, this was a 10% scroll that's been applied to, or oh, this item succeeded a 60% scroll. I can tell just by looking at the item. But when you have 5%, 30%, 70% chaos scrolls, you don't know what the hell happened. Like, you don't know what scrolls have been applied to that item. And trying to figure that out and trying to do the math and the analysis of that item is like taking calculus. It's just, I didn't get in this game to do, you know, algebra 2. I got in this game to turn my brain off and listen to some great background music and kill pigs or slimes and chat with my buddy about his life and catch up. And I know that, you know what, actually, I know that's not nostalgia because it happens now. My cousin will get on. I'm 32. He's 31. We both have our lives. I'm married with a kid. He's in a stage where he's about to get married, and he'll soon have kids. He worked 2 jobs. He still gets on here and there for about an hour or two, and we'll just do. Not even the most efficient. We're not chasing anything. There's no anything to really, chase because there's no record. We're just hanging out, killing whatever, and we're catching up on life in Discord. Like right now, I can sit here, not be stressed, just kind of going around one-shotting these golems and talk about my experiences, my opinion, my thought on MapleStory. With an ease. It's a breeze, because these guys don't hit me that much. They're actually very easy to kill, and I'm not trying to play the game for most efficient way to level. I could. The option is there, but the game, the enjoyability and how I enjoy the game doesn't change when I come to a low level grinding area and I'm just trying to relax, And all of this isn't meaningless, I guess, because at the end of the day, I just leveled and I'm still stacking experience. These monsters are dropping items that I can sell, so I'm making money. So the sense of progression is still there and it's very real. And I can do it with minimal brain power is what I really. If I really wanted to, the most efficient way to level right now, find a party. Join a party with a priest that can give me holy symbol. And there's a party actually in Ifray where 3 dragon knights get in a party with a priest. And the dragon knights spam dragon roar, which is an AoE attack that attacks almost the entire screen. It has a enormous reach. It's like an AoE skill, and but it costs you 30% of your current, or 30% of your max HP. So you put a cleric next to you who's healing you, and then you're just spamming a map-wide AoE, which is really easy, and the experience gained from that training is a lot. You can get a lot of experience. But I'm not doing that. I don't have to. If I want to, I will. And I can always go and do it. The option is there. There's always people hanging out there. There's always people. It's full of people trying to find a party, have a good time, and trying to level there. But the thing is, I also see people like me here and there who are just kind of grinding by themselves, chilling and hanging out. You know? I guess that goes back to the first point I was making, where I like when a game gives me, I like to have choices. I like to not be stuck on this narrow path that the game is trying to tell me to stay on because they know what's best for me, or they know what I would enjoy. I don't know. Not a fan of that. Okay, while I was talking, I actually leveled. Trying to reach level 90 before I got off today. Did it? All strength. Make Spear Buster 28. Now I'm hitting 3 mobs instead of 2. And in one more level, Spear Buster will be mastered. I'll start leveling maybe Dragon Blood. Dragon Blood gives me attack boost at the cost of my HP. So Mapleland, but Korean, not English. What do you mean by that? Are you asking what I'm playing? So you can't download this game. If you live in the States, you need a Korean social security. Then after that, you need a cell phone, a way to self-authenticate yourself. So you need a Korean cell phone with the social security that you use to make an account, and they're gonna text you a number through that Korean cell phone to authenticate yourself. Then you can log into the launcher, but your launcher will also kick you out because if it will recognize your IP and see that you're not from Korea, you're not coming in from Korea, so you now have to go and purchase a VPN and route it to Korea to play this game. So there's 3 steps. It's why do they do this? They're trying to, mainly Korea has an issue with Chinese bots and Chinese people trying to basically infiltrate is a bad word, coming in and interfering with the Korean ecosystem of games. They're just trying to keep foreigners out, and when I say foreigners, they're trying to keep Chinese people out of their servers. So they have this strenuous and rigorous steps that you have to go through in order to play. So the reason why I'm playing right now, and the way I can play the game right now, is because I just came back from Korea. My cousin was playing the game, And he asked me, do I want to play? I was like, yeah, man, we grew up playing together. I was so hyped. And I was like, I want to play. Yeah, play together. And he's like, okay, but I think I have to make an account for you because, you know, I don't think your Korean social security number works anymore. I was like, yeah, you're right, it doesn't. So, okay, we'll make it with yours. He's like, yeah, I got you. So he made a different account with his social security number, registered me for the game, and then I saw him authenticating me in to get into the game. And I was like, hold on, you're telling me every time I log in, I have to authenticate through the phone? And he's like, yeah, that's how it is here. I was like, wow, that's pretty lame. How is it gonna be when I go to the States? Are you know, there's a time difference, you work. What if you're not on? What if you're sleeping? He's like, don't worry, I got you. I was like, okay. My plan was to just authenticate myself in, and I never log out. I never log out of this game unless I have to because they're doing a patch or whatever. But I thought about it in that moment. Well, once I'm in, I just will never turn my computer off, and I'll just keep myself logged in. So anyway, so he did that for me, and then I came back to the States, purchased a VPN. So I'm doing all these steps to play the game, which most people, you know, 99% of people are not going to know anyone who's going to lend them their Korean social security number and authenticate them. And you probably have to purchase that. There's probably a black market for it, but it's just too much. But I know you're disappointed. But the good news is, I don't know if you heard, NA is going to release MapleStory Classic next year, which is going to be a little different than the game that I'm playing now. But the developers said that they're going to try to keep true to how old school MapleStory was. So, you know, right now, unfortunately, you probably can't play, and it sucks, I know, because I love this game, and I would hate to be on the other end where I can watch people play the game that I loved. I mean, it's like part of my identity almost. Game. I would hate to be on that end, but it is what it is. And in 2026, Classic MapleStory is going to come out, so I think it's going to be very popular. I think a lot of people are going to play. Like I said, I'm in my 30s, and a lot of my friends have moved on from gaming. I think the last time my friends all played a game together was when Classic WoW came out, and we all made characters, like 5 to 7 of us made characters, and we went we did all the dungeons together, and that was a blast. But they're willing to come back and play MapleStory Classic with me because I hyped it up so much. To all my buddies, I'm like, guys, just come and try it. It's like one of the best games ever made. If MapleStory Classic releases the way I hope it releases, which is 99% similar to how old school MapleStory was, then I know my friends will enjoy the experience as new players. I mean, just imagine you like group of how many people are playing? I think I got like 7 players, 7 people, 7 of my buddies who's willing to try the game. So imagine like 7 new people. You know, they all have their unique identity by level 10. There's a sense of identity, and you know, not a lot of games can have this, where like basically after 2 hours of playing, everybody has their first job advancements achieved, and there's a sense of identity already established. You know what I mean? Like if you are a thief, right, you're going around throwing stars, and that's so cool because no other class is throwing stars. If you're an archer, you come to the Hennessy's hunting ground with a bow, and everybody's like, oh, you're a bowman, that's cool. Oh, you're shooting little magic arrows, that's cute. You know, and then you have this badass magician. Magicians are the strongest class in from level 8 to 30, and he's like throwing magic bolt, and he's doing magic claw. He's just doing, you know, he's putting down numbers. Magicians do so much damage in the beginning, and you're like, oh, and my friends are gonna be like, man, I should have went magician. That's OP. That's broken. And then you got this poor guy, whoever it's gonna be. Someone's gonna be that warrior Andy that only plays warriors. He's like a ret paladin in WoW, or he's a fury warrior or something. You know what I mean? Like he's just warrior or nothing type of guy. And hold on, let me pick this up. And he goes, little does he know, he plays a warrior in MapleStory, and you know, warriors in MapleStory, you've signed up for a hard path all the way up to probably like level 120. You're gonna struggle with the exception of Dragon Knights, because Dragon Knights, once they hit about 75, they're really fun to play and they're really strong. But like Hero and Paladin, unless you get to level 120, you do your 4th job advancement, unless you get there, it's really mundane and boring and like actually comparatively pretty weak to other classes. Nobody wants to party with you because you have no party buffs that's beneficial. People would rather take a assassin. You know, if they take you, they're like, all right, come on, I'll take you. Let's go. Just get in the bus. I'm excited for all my friends to experience it, and you know, I'm gonna be so sad if they don't like it. I'm gonna be very sad. I think I might tell them, hey guys, I'm sad. I don't tell my friends I'm sad. You know, I tell my friends I don't really tell my friends how I'm feeling. I just laugh. But this time, they make me sad. Or if they don't like the game, I think it might make me sad. And I might tell them it might make me. I want to pick that up. I need to throw something. There's nothing to throw out. You know what? I don't want it to disappear. Oh wait, there we go. Okay. Quick thinking saved me. These little items, if you sell them, you know, to an NPC, they give you like 20, 30 or 200, 300k mesos. That's a lot. This is how you make money in this game. Go to a somewhat low level mobbing area and you just like vacuum up all the mobs, vacuum up all the meso and all the stuff they drop. And if you get lucky, they'll maybe drop a scroll that's expensive. Like look at this one, 230k. I'll take that. 110k for this. What? Why is that so expensive? Hold on. You know, I like looking like a warrior in this game. But let me actually go the full warrior kit. Oh yeah, look at this warrior. That's a warrior. He looks ready for battle. The bone helm looks nice too. Looks pretty badass. Let me take this off. There's some real weapon on there. Look at that. That's a warrior. The butt plug helm is undefeated. If you try to put that cracked helm in your booty hole, you're gonna have some tissue scarring. You know, it's gonna be painful, but man, look at this warrior right here. He looks like a warrior. Come on. I think it looks badass. You know, when I was a kid and I played this game, I wanted to put jeans on and slippers and rabbit ears. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old now, but I think that looks more badass than trying to look cute. I mean, looking cute is cool too. I've seen some people who style out their characters and they're just so good. Their fashion senses and all that is so good. I want to copy them almost. They look like people that I could actually see in real life. That's how good they are at dressing up their characters in this game. Old school items, NX, yeah, for sure. I mean, my plate armor here, dark battle road plate armor. Look at that. That's a set. I'm gonna check my damage one last time before I go. Thanksgiving. Gotta go eat some turkey. But before I go, I just hit level 90. Man, I can't believe I hit level 90. It's been a journey for sure. Been fun though. Check my damage. Probably put my Zac helm back on. Get out of the way, slime. Look at these slimes. They're so cute. You know, I was talking about this in one of my videos, but like I love the art style illustration of this game. And one of my favorite mobs in this game is this guy. Cuz Eye, Evil Eye, Cold Eye. If you look at Hennessy's Hunting Grounds 1, 2, whatever, all the mobs are so adorable and cute. The mushrooms, the jellies, the snails, and then you go venture out a little bit and then you run into this dude, right? You run into this guy. And this guy scares the crap out of you. I mean, you take MapleStory out of your brain and you just look at this thing in some other game. He looks like something from a horror game. Terrifying. Now that's how you kill a cousin. See if I can kill him this way. This is the damage that I was doing at like level, I don't know, 20. Jesus. Oh, double digit there. 59. Nightmare fuel as a kid, yep. They're terrifying. They look like something from a Japanese horror film. I have this like peaceful, like imagine Alinea with its peaceful piano background music, and then you go into one of the portals in the forest and you run into Cuz Eye. It has like blood dripping down from its teeth with its one eye that's blinking at you and smiling at you. That's terrifying, dude. Like a lizard as big as you with 4 legs just bouncing around. Okay, let's see. Full damage. Let's go. I forgot to sell my item. I forgot to sell this. Alright, let's see how much I'm doing. I'm gonna use all my buff potions. Check my damage stats. Oh. I am officially 3,100 now. Level 28 Dragon Buster. Let's go. Do I see 5k? Do I see 5k? Do I see 5k? 4,700. Oh, 4,700. I think that's the highest it'll go. 4,800. 4,800. 4,900. Hold on. I just might get it. Oh my god, I'm so old. Oh, look at that, another one. But yeah, this is why I come here, man. Make so much money here. I don't think I'm gonna hit 5,000. Not yet. Maybe next level. I'm very close though. Exciting. There will be a day where all of my damage from the 3 lines will be 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. That's 15k in one hit. That's rad. That's metal. Okay. Well, anyways, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Thanksgiving. Come and hang out again. But I gots to go. Bye now.